The Zephyrian Council had prepared for every conceivable scenario. Their crystalline towers hummed with the collective consciousness of a billion minds, each thought flowing in perfect harmony through the neural networks that governed their civilization. For 3,000 years they had expanded across the galaxy, subjugating species after species with their most potent weapon, the mind scribe arrays. The technology was elegant in its simplicity. The arrays could penetrate any sentient being's consciousness, extracting thoughts, memories, and intentions with surgical precision. No military strategy could remain hidden. No resistance could be planned, no secret could be kept. The Zephyrians had conquered the warlike Krathon by reading their battle plans before they were even finalized. They had subdued the psychic Etherians by anticipating their mental attacks. 57 species had fallen to their telepathic superiority. Humanity would be number 58. Commander Vexthaler stood before the primary mind scribe array, its chrome surface reflecting the pale blue light of Zephyr Prime's twin suns. The machine was the size of a city block, its quantum processors capable of analyzing billions of thought patterns simultaneously. Around him, technicians with elongated skulls and silver-flecked skin made final adjustments to the neural resonance chambers. "Status report," Vexthaler commanded, his voice carrying the harmonic overtones that marked him as a high-ranking Zephyrian. "All systems optimal, Commander," replied Technician Yelandra. "The human specimens are secured in the extraction chambers. Initial scans indicate standard carbon-based neural activity. The conquest should be complete within the hour." Vexthaler nodded with satisfaction. The humans had shown promise. Their primitive technology had actually managed to destroy 2 Zephyrian scout ships before the capture operation succeeded. But promise meant nothing against the mind scribe arrays. Soon every human military installation, every governmental secret, every plan for resistance would be laid bare. "Begin the neural mapping sequence," he ordered. The array hummed to life, its crystalline core pulsing with increasing intensity. Energy cascaded through the quantum channels, reaching out to touch the minds of the 5 human captives suspended in the extraction chambers. For the first few seconds, everything proceeded normally. Neural pathways began to illuminate on the holographic displays. Synaptic patterns emerged in familiar configurations. Then something went wrong. "Commander," Yelandra's voice carried a note of confusion. "The patterns are irregular." Vexthaler moved closer to the primary display, where he expected to see the orderly, sequential thought processes common to all previously encountered species. He saw chaos. Neural pathways branched and diverged in impossible directions. Thoughts seemed to contradict themselves mid-formation. Multiple concurrent processing streams operated simultaneously, often in direct opposition to each other. "Increase the resolution," he commanded. The display zoomed deeper into the neural activity of Subject 1, a human female designated as Sarah Chen, according to their database. Her mind was a maelstrom of activity. She was simultaneously worried about her daughter's safety, annoyed by an itch on her left ankle, composing what appeared to be a humorous verse about Zephyrian anatomy, calculating the trajectory needed to escape her bonds, remembering the taste of chocolate ice cream, and experiencing what the array could only classify as existential dread about the nature of consciousness itself. "This cannot be accurate," Vexthaler muttered. "No sentient being can maintain this many concurrent thought processes." But Subject 2 was even worse. The human male, James Rodriguez, was actively conducting an internal argument with himself about whether the Zephyrians might actually be misunderstood, while simultaneously planning 17 different escape scenarios, composing a letter to his ex-wife, wondering if the strange humming sound was music, trying to remember if he had locked his car, and attempting to solve what appeared to be a mathematical proof about the relationship between pizza size and optimal cheese distribution. "The array is overheating," reported another technician. "Neural processing load is at 340% capacity." "Impossible," Vexthaler snapped. "Our maximum recorded processing requirement was 89% for the Etherian collective consciousness." Subject 3 nearly broke the system. The elderly human, Professor Margaret Okafor, was not only thinking in 7 different languages simultaneously, but appeared to be carrying on internal conversations with historical figures, both real and fictional. She was debating quantum mechanics with Einstein, discussing poetry with someone called Maya Angelou, arguing philosophy with an entity named Socrates, and creating what could only be described as mental fan fiction involving Zephyrian characters. In romantic scenarios that made the monitoring technicians turn pale purple with embarrassment. "Commander, we have cascade failures throughout the neural network," Ylandra reported, panic creeping into her harmonic tones. "The quantum processors cannot parse the data streams. The thought patterns are too what? Too human, sir." The Mind Scribe array, pride of Zephyrian technology, began to emit a high-pitched whine. Cooling systems engaged automatically as processors redlined, trying to make sense of the human cognitive patterns. Subject 4 was internally composing a symphony, while also calculating his taxes, remembering every embarrassing thing he had ever done, planning his grocery list, and experiencing what appeared to be a religious revelation about the interconnectedness of all things, triggered by the sight of dust motes floating in the chamber's light. Subject 5, a teenager identified as Alex Kim, completely shattered the array's cognitive modeling protocols. The youth was simultaneously feeling homesick, rebellious, angry at their parents, sorry for being angry at their parents, concerned about acne, excited about a crush, terrified about their future, bored by their current situation, curious about Zephyrian mating habits, and composing what appeared to be an epic space opera in their head, starring themselves as the hero who saves both species through the power of friendship and renewable energy. "System failure imminent," Ylandra announced. "The neural pathways don't follow any logical pattern. They're thinking about everything and nothing simultaneously. The array can't establish a baseline consciousness model when the subjects appear to be having 17 different thoughts that contradict each other every microsecond." Vexthalar watched in horrified fascination as his civilization's greatest weapon tore itself apart trying to understand human consciousness. Sparks flew from overloaded circuits. The crystalline core began to crack under the strain of processing the sheer chaotic complexity of human thought. "Shut it down," he ordered. "I can't, sir." The array is locked in a recursive loop trying to map Subject 2's internal monologue. He's currently thinking about whether we can think about thinking, while also wondering if we're capable of humor while simultaneously feeling sorry for us because we might not understand the concept of free will. The Mind Scribe array, which had conquered an empire, finally gave up. With a sound like a crystal cathedral collapsing, it powered down, smoke rising from its quantum cores. In the sudden silence, Vexthalar could hear something unprecedented in Zephyrian history. Human laughter echoing from the extraction chambers. "Sir," Ylandra whispered, "I don't think we can conquer them. Their minds are too chaotic, too free. Our technology assumes logical, sequential thought patterns. But humans seem to think in several dimensions simultaneously, with no regard for computational efficiency or mental resource management." Vexthalar stared at the smoking ruins of his greatest weapon, destroyed not by superior firepower or advanced technology, but by the simple, impossible complexity of human consciousness. Perhaps he thought some species were meant to remain unconquered. From the extraction chambers, Sarah Chen's voice carried clearly, "Hey, are you guys okay out there?" That was a pretty impressive light show. "Also, do you happen to have any snacks? I'm thinking about nachos for some reason."